If you want to know how to supercharge Notion, this is the video for you. Not only will you learn how to supercharge it, but you're going to learn how you can get things into Notion from anywhere you want and don't have to worry about fixing any formatting issues that you've had to deal with in the past. Let's talk tech. How's it going? Will here from Will Talk Tech. And in order to do what we need to do, we need to get a few things set up. So even if you decide to go click the link in the description and download the shortcut, it's still a few things we have to set up in order to make those download shortcuts work, okay? So let's get started. Okay, so here we are on my phone. Now, as a side note, I want you to let me know in the description below how you like this. Do you like me doing it on my phone, or do you prefer the bigger screen with me doing it on my iPad? Let me know below. Okay, so here we are on my phone. I'm going to open up the App Store. And the first thing we're going to download is Shortcuts. So if you stumbled upon this app, this video, you'll know this is Shortcuts right here. It's 100% free. It's an awesome, awesome app. So this is what you would download in order to follow along. The next app you want to download in order to follow along would be Notion. This is a Notion tutorial. So we need Notion to make it work if I can spell. So we're going to click on the first one, which is Notion Notes, Docs, and Tasks. It looks like this. This app comes with a free version, but it's also a paid version after so many blocks. So you can download it, use this to follow along, 100% free. The next one we want to download to make this work is called Nautomate, I think is the proper pronunciation of it. Nautomate, Nautomate. I think that's how you pronounce it. And it's right here. This right here has a free and paid version, meaning some of the features in here are free and some of them are paid. But basically, this is what allows us to interface with Notion. It gives us 35 plus powerful Notion actions. All right. The next one that we want to download is going to be Drafts. Now, Drafts does have a free version, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, I've been paying for Draft for years now, so honestly, I don't know if they still have a free version or not. But this is Drafts app, and all my text start over here. In the bonus area, I'm going to show you how you don't need to use Drafts if you don't want to use Drafts. You can literally use whatever you want to use in the bonus section that I'm going to be showing you. All right, once you got those downloaded, the next thing is time for us to set up Nautomate. So in order to set up Nautomate, we're actually going to go over to Safari. So I'm just going to pull up Safari. And you can see I was making a post. That's why it's on this page. So let's just open up a new screen. And I'm going to head over to Notion. So I'm going to say go. And you can see I'm already logged in. This part is kind of important, okay? So you want to make sure you're logged into your Notion from Safari. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to leave out of that. We're going to come back over and I'm going to click on, I'm going to type in Nautomate, which is right here. And now what I want to do is once I'm here, the very first thing I need to do is click on settings and I'm going to click on integrations. And you can see I have one integration already right here. And what I want to do is I'm going to actually delete this integration just so you can see how to set yours up. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in integrations. And right here, once I do that, you can see this walks me through what I need to do. So for here, I'm just going to put, all right, so for here, I put Will's Workspace. And then after that, all you got to do is click right here where it says this link. So I'm going to click right there. It's going to open up an integration, which is right here. So I'm going to click on New. And I could turn the phone sideways to get a better angle of it. Hopefully you can see it. And I'm going to say done. And you can see right here is asking me, okay, what do I want to click? It says internal. I want it to be internal. If you have more than one Notion workspace, you can click right here and change it. Right here, I'm just going to put in the app that I'm actually connecting to, which is Nautomate. And then after that, I'm going to say done. Then I'm going to say submit. Now that gives me an integration. So I can click on show and then I can click on copy. But in this case, I'm not going to click on show. I'm going to pull it off screen right quick. So now I copied it. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to leave up out of here because we're done with Safari. I'm going to come back over to Nautomate, put my phone back in the right orientation. All right, that looks like the right orientation to me. Now I'm gonna click on secret key. I'm gonna click on paste. At that point, I can come down, scroll all the way down, and I'm gonna say save integration. Now, this is the integration to Wheels Workspace. Now we have to go into our Notion app, because if we tried to run this right now, it wouldn't work because we haven't connected it. Only thing we did was connect the API. And connecting the API, we have to do one more step, which is gonna allow us to be able to ensure that when we try to send things over to Notion and actually go to Notion and it's not just giving us an error message. All right, so let's do that now. The next thing we need to do is open up Notion so we're actually done with this. So we can come back over, say Notion, click on Notion. And now what we want to do is, so I'm going to create, well, we can look at this demo page. If I click these three dots, come all the way down, you can see it says Notamate is connected. If I click disconnect, that means Notamate no longer have access to this. So what I want to do for this, I think the best way to do it, because if I'm not mistaken, when I did it, let's click into Book Tracker. I think I had Notamate connected. Yeah, I did. So I'm going to just disconnect Notamate. Now, and then the last one I think I had it connected to was SBS Profits Dashboard. Let's see. Yep. So I want to disconnect it from all of these. Now I'm going to say done. Let's make sure I disconnected it. I was moving a little fast. I didn't. I'm going to click it again, disconnect, confirm, and now it's done. So now what I want to do is whatever you do, you have to add a new page. All of these that you're looking at right here are considered new pages. So you have to add a new page in order to be able to use it. The shortcut cannot create a new page for you. It can only create a page, add a page to a page that already exists. So for example, this right here is a front page. SBS Profits Dashboard is a front page. If I click into it, then you will see that all of these pages right here are just that. These are internal pages, but the front page is SBS Profits Dashboard. So what we want to do now is we want to create a new front page. So what I want to do is I can click this plus button and I can say inbox, because anything I put in, I want it to go into the inbox so I can process it later. So I'm going to say inbox. And at that point, I'm going to say done. And I'm going to add this to, we're going to add it to SBS Profits Dashboard. All right. At that point, we can come up in here and we can type something if we want. If we don't want to, we don't have to. All right. So I'm going to say done. I'm going to click right here. I'm going to go back up to SBS Profits. I'm going to scroll down to where I see where it says inbox, which is all the way down here at the bottom. How fitting. And what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to click these three dots again. And what I want to do is I actually want to favorite this. So add to favorites is right here. So now I should be able to leave out of here and I can see inbox at the top, which is what I want. So that's how you get these pages up here. I want to go back into inbox, and what I want to do is I want to scroll down to where it says add connection. I want to click on that, and I want to add a connection to it, Notamate. Now, the trick is I'm not sure which one of these should I be adding. So if I get an error message, then I'll know I need to change it up. I'm actually going to go with the second one just because, yeah, I'm just going to go with, actually, I'm just going to connect them both. How about that? Keep it simple, right? That'll ensure I don't get an error message because they both connected. All right. The next thing I want to do is I could actually go into my settings. I'm not sure I can do it from my phone, but normally I could just go into my settings and I would be able to see my integrations and change it up how I see fit. But I'm not seeing that on here. So it might not allow me to do it from my phone. I might only be able to do that from the web browser. But that's how it works. Now we're all set up for this. Okay, so at this point, you have everything set up now. So now at this point, if you downloaded the shortcuts that's in the link below and you done the connection, it'll work easily, no problem. That's all the setup you needed to make those work. However, again, I still recommend you watch on. All right, let's dig into the shortcut now. All right, so now that this is set up, now it's time for us to actually build the shortcut. So we're gonna actually leave Notion open, but we're gonna come over to shortcuts. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna actually build this up under shared so I'll know not to get rid of it. These are all the shortcuts I've shared so far. So I'm gonna add a new one. And this one is going to be, let's see here, rename. This is going to be drafts to Notion. All right, so we got draft to Notion shared because this is a shared one. I can click on this yellow icon and I could change this up if I want to. I could say, see if I got anything up under, well, I could just do the normal one. All right, so I'm gonna use the paperclip. I'm gonna change the color to pink. And now we're all ready to get started. So I'm just gonna click on add action, but instead of clicking on add action, I'm gonna come through here. The first thing I wanna create is a get drafts. So get draft by UID. Now, if you ever tried to import something from, if you tried to send drafts, a draft over to Notion using inside drafts where you can use their share feature, for whatever reason, it never picks the one I want. So to be able to do it like this works better for me. So right now, what I want to do is I'm going to turn off show when run. UID, I'm going to say ask each time. Or, you know what, it's a better way for us to do that, but we're going to come back to this, so don't worry about it. But just know we're going to clear that out, so it's best to just leave it untouched for now. The next thing, so for this, we're going to say UUID. We're going to scroll all the way over, and we're going to say shortcuts. Now, for here, it says if there is no input, continue. If there's no input, then we don't want to continue. What we want to do is get clipboard. All right, so this means we can use the share sheet or we can use the clipboard. So we're able to say share and pull something from that, or we're able to say just grab whatever's on the clipboard and import that. Pretty cool stuff. Next, what we want to do is grab our text. So we're going to say text. We're going to add it in. And for this, inside our text is going to be draft by UID. But for this, it's not going to be draft. It's going to be content. We want to make sure we get the content of that draft. All right. After that, what we want to do is we want to create a text box. So this is what we want, create text block. All right. This is, now we're using Nonomate. So where it says paragraph, that's fine. What we want to do is we want to have that text say be right here. So it's going to be text because that's what we want right there. Now what we want to do is for this to work, like if we ran it, it's not going to work. For this to work, we have to add a variable. So we're going to say add variable, which is right here. We're going to click add, and you can see it automatically pops up text block. And for this variable, I'm just going to call it block. So I'm going to call it blocks. Now, here's the thing. Whatever we add for this block, let's say we had a lot that we wanted to add going straight down. Each one that we add from Nonomate, we have to add this add variable to it. This part right here, whatever pops up, don't change it. The only thing we're doing is adding whatever, we're adding blocks to each one. All of them must have the same variable name. You can't have one add variable to say blocks, one add variable to say paragraph. It's not gonna work, it's gonna break. So you just wanna make sure this all say blocks if you wanna get more creative with it, okay? Next thing we wanna do is create page name, all right? So we're gonna say create page. All right, so create page is right here. We're gonna click on that. Now, for this, what we wanna do is, because I'm pulling it from drafts, What I want to do is actually come over to drafts, click on there. And instead of grabbing the drafts, I just want to grab the title of whatever draft I'm pulling from. All right. And with this right here, I want to say inbox. You can see only one popped up is inbox, and that's the only one we have access to. Now, if you want more access to more of them, all you have to do, for example, if I wanted to have access to, my dashboard and all the pages that's on here, I can click on here, click the three buttons, come down, add connection, and I can say automate. And I can add this one too because I don't know which one it is. And at that point, when I come back over here and I cancel that and I click it again, you can see now I have SBS profits popping up as well as inbox. So that's how that works. Now, I personally don't want that. So I'm going to come back over here, make sure I'm up under the right one. I'm actually going to disconnect it just to make sure, because the only thing I just want to be able to import into the inbox folder. That's it. I'll do all the processing from the inbox folder once it's imported, but I don't want to import a lot of stuff different places. Now, once you do that, the next thing you want to do is you want to click, I'm going to turn that back on so I can have some space. The next thing you want to do is you want to click on that. Now, choose blocks. This is where this comes into place. You click on choose block, click blocks. And the cool thing about it is this is dynamic. So if I change that block name and say done, as you see, it's going to change down there. This is why it's important to have all of the blocks the exact same name. All right. And a quick way to be able to look at this and make sure you did it correctly is if you click on here where it says text block, it should say intent page block. As long as it say intent page block, your shortcut should work fine. Just remember, for each one of these you add, you have to add a variable to it, and the variable has to be named the same. So the block, it could be whatever you want to call it. It could be block, it could be black, it could be yellow, it could be whatever. All right. So at this point, now what I want to do is I want to come back over to drafts. So we're going to come over to drafts. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to import this into drafts. This is something simple I can import. So for drafts, I'm going to hold it. I'm going to say get info. I'm going to say UUID. And now I'm going to come back over to shortcuts and I'm going to say play. And because I didn't go through the share sheet, shortcuts automatically grabs whatever's on the clipboard. Now, if we come back over to Notion and we say done, and let's go back, go to the inbox, we can see YouTube optimization. When we click in, you can see everything is there. Your formatting, I'm telling you, this is a godsend. Like being able to have it automatically formatted, you don't got to worry about pasting it and it's messing up and all that stuff is awesome. Really quick, if you're enjoying this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up so I know you like this type of content so I continue to make videos just like this one. Let's dig into the bonus. All right, now that you know how to do it with drafts, I want to show you a bonus, all right? This is the shortcut we just made, so I'm going to say done. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to say duplicate. Now, for this one, I'm going to come up in here, click the three dots. I'm going to click up here, and I'm going to say rename. I'm going to take off number 1, and I'm going to say copy. I'm going to say copy to Notion. All right, I'm going to say done. This is the new one. So now what I want to do is I actually just want to get rid of this drafts one. So I'm going to exit out of there. I'm going to delete this so we can clear this variable so that it will work. And I'm going to say clear this variable as well. Now, where it says title, I'm going to scroll over and I'm going to say ask each time because that's now I want to input that title myself. And with this right here, we can ask, like we have an option. And the first option is we can use our clipboard. So it's right here. We can say get clipboard. So you have copy the clipboard and get clipboard. In this case, we want to get clipboard. We're going to bring this all the way up here. And what I'm going to do at that point is I'm going to add in clipboard right here. So now this is going to access a few things. It's going to give us our text, meaning whatever text we copy, that's what's going to go into Notion, but it's going to access what we want the title to be. So let's come over here to, we're going to close out Let's close out drafts right there. You know what? I decided to give you an even better example of how I would use this in the real world. So I'm gonna come over to ChatGPT and I'm going to ask ChatGPT to give me some ideas. Okay, so I need 10 shortcut ideas for YouTube using apps such as Notion, Drafts, Bear, and Craft, which are all note-taking apps. So I'm going to click on it, and right now it's going to work giving me ideas. Okay, so while it didn't give me exactly what I wanted, let's pretend like it did. What I could do is I could hold down this and I could say copy. So I'm gonna hold it down again. I'm gonna copy. And what that's gonna do is give me these, well, it's gonna give me this whole thing on my clipboard. But if I come back over here now and I click play, I can say shortcut ideas. I'm gonna say done. And now what I wanna do is I wanna come back over here to the inbox. And you can see where I have shortcut ideas. Click on shortcuts. And now you can see all of those shortcuts came in properly formatted. And now I'm able to go through them and see which ones make sense to move to the next stage and which ones don't. This by far is one of the most powerful ways you can supercharge Notion as well as supercharging just your overall workflow, because I'm telling you, I hate having to go into, TickTick and copy over my article over to Notion or over to Craft or over to whatever. And when I could just automate that by just simply pushing one button, it grabs that draft, throws it in Notion, and now I have a safe copy over in Notion archive forever. And I never have to worry about anything happening to it. And I still have a version over in TickTick. This right here, I'm telling you, you gotta like it. Like seriously, this is good. But with that being said, I'm Will from Will Talk Tech. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Till next time. Later.